in 3, 2, 1. Guys! Wait, I gotta do something real quick.
This is a great listening experience. There it is.
Oh, yeah.
That's where a crop top last week, and I just
forgot all about
remembered it. So there it is. You're not gonna be able to see it, except really.
Oh my!
Oh,
Look at that.
Back like that, you can kind of see it.
It's looking good, guys.
It's like that's like the scene straight out of Crazy Stupid Love where he takes his shirt off.
Yeah, close to it. I would. You're not gonna be able to see it very well because my camera's down here. Usually, I have it up high, but I deprived people of it last week, and so here it is. I'm wearing I guess you call it a crop top, very
Close
makeshift. I think it'll pass. But anyways, yeah, this is the CineBoiz podcast. We are part of the Corkbats Podcast Network. We're basically the movie, TV, and entertainment podcast of Corkbats. We are not a sports podcast. We never talk about sports on this podcast. You think that's fair to say?
Maybe not fair, but
Accurate.
in fact, maybe entirely inaccurate.
No.
Well, we're not a sports podcast. If you're listening on Spotify, Apple, Google Podcasts, thank you so much. Please consider subscribing, telling a friend. You don't even have to listen to the podcast. We would like you to, though. You don't have to listen to the full thing. We still get credit for it, but please, it's fine. I'm wearing a crop top right now. Even though if you're just listening,
Just imagine it.
just imagine it. I lost 20 pounds this past year, so you know it looks good. So there you go. What's that?
I said, "Gee,
Yeah.
good for you."
Yeah, if you're watching on the Corkbats YouTube page, thank you as well. Be sure to follow Corkbats and like this video. Basically, Corkbats has a lot of good stuff. Have you guys watched T-Rav Tasters yet?
I watched the YouTube thumbnail of it. It's in my to-watch list.
Yeah, it's good, man. If you're from St. Louis or you just like food in general,
Big
highly
Paradas
recommend. Highly recommend watching T-Rav Tasters on. I think it's on YouTube. I know it's on Instagram video.
It's on YouTube.
Yeah, so worth your time. It's about a 7-minute video. It'll make you.
I used to go to Ferrados every year on my birthday for like 15 years.
St. Louis shit.
And then-
Cool.
Yeah, T-Rap City.
All right. But yeah, Corkbats YouTube page. Be sure to subscribe, like our videos. That goes a long way for us. We've been growing lately, and that's been really fun and exciting. So help us grow more. But yeah, my name's Kenny. I'm one of the co-hosts of the CineBoiz podcast. Back in Austin, Texas, after 2 weeks in Tom's basement. But speaking of Tom, I'm joined as always by Tom Bragg in Columbia, Missouri. Hi, Tom.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Good, man. What are you big on this week?
This week, I am big on just kind of watching old favorites. So Friday night, I started watching Batman Begins because I hadn't seen it in many years, actually. And I just came across it on Netflix and got the hankering for it. So I started watching it. I'm kind of taking the Lindholm approach to it, though, and I've been watching it in installments just because I didn't start watching it until like late at night, and it's like over 2 hours. So, but I just forgot how great of a movie that actually is. And I usually have just gotten so fixated on the sequels because I think the sequels in the Dark Knight trilogy are phenomenal. And I think the Dark Knight is better than the first. I'll say it. But Batman Begins is just an incredibly well-told story. And just there's something that's Christopher Nolan was able to do, just like he made Batman realistic. And I just appreciated that.
Well, cool. Well, thanks, man. And then, we're also joined in on the East Coast by Mob in Lexington, Kentucky. Hello, Mob.
Hola.
Mob, what are you big on this week, my dude?
I am big on legal tampering. The fact that it's a thing, the fact that it exists in a world that we don't really talk about. Legal tampering. Today is actually, if you're listening to this on Monday, today is National Legal Tampering Day because it begins.
Interesting.
If you know, you know.
What's your favorite example of legal tampering in the last
Just
decade?
please explain.
Oh, so we're not a sports podcast, right? But
Right.
in the NFL, free agency starts on Wednesday, March 17th.
That's my birthday.
Yeah, is it, Tom?
Hell if I know.
So free agency starts that day. But what they've done is they've said, you know what? We're going to come up with this term called legal tampering. And let me just read to you the definition of tamper. It means to interfere with something in order to cause damage or make unauthorized altercations. So
Sounds
they
like my
put
ex-wife.
legal, exactly. So they put legal in front of it. It's kind of like an oxymoron. But basically, all these people sign way before free agency actually starts, and they just call it legal tampering. And I find that hilarious. But not a sports podcast, so Jump Drawer fact check me.
Right. We're not a sports podcast, but we are a law podcast. So
We love the law.
there we go. It fits. Thanks, Mob. And then, yeah, we're also joined by Kevin Keith in Columbia. Kevin, how are you?
Hey, boys. Doing great.
What would you say that you're big on this week?
I'd like to tack on to Mob's point that, again, I don't really know anything about sports. We don't like to talk sports. We're not a sports podcast.
Right.
But this week I'm big on just March Madness in the grand return. We've had almost a 2-year hiatus. It's one of the most – I'm a little peeved at the new schedule. It used to start on Thursday. This year it's starting on Friday. That's a whole extra day of work. You don't get to pretend to work instead and then watch basketball instead. So that's being taken away. But we do get March Madness back in some capacity, and I will be spending a good chunk of the next 3 to 4 weeks wasting away in my basement watching college basketball. And I couldn't be more happy about that.
That's good to hear, man. It is great to be back. Not a sports podcast, but it is really, really great to have. Like, it's almost like I forgot what it's like.
I know.
Like, as somebody was talking about filling out a bracket, and I was like, I feel like I haven't done that in a decade. It's been so long.
Yeah, bracket.
And the other fun thing about March Madness is Hanks Fight Madness, which
when Tom Hanks fights himself.
We're going to talk about that here in a little bit because it's been really exciting to watch, and we got a big update for you on it. Well, thanks, Kev. Guys, look, for me, I'm going to tell you what I'm big on right now.
Kenny, before you start, let me ask you one question.
Yeah.
Well, what are you big on?
I'm really glad you asked me that question. What I'm big on is just disrespecting hotel rooms. Like, I'm exhausted. I've been driving for 2 days. I am just beat. But I stayed in a hotel last night in Norman, Oklahoma. Go Sooners. And no.
Thank you.
Go hook them.
Yeah.
Austin.
Nice.
But and by disrespect, I don't mean like do damage or cause like harm or anything like that. But like the fact that I could just like go in there and just like kick my feet up without taking my shoes off, let my dog just like run around, and just
your dog.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Eat dinner in bed. Take a shower, leave towels everywhere. It's just everything's wet after I've gotten through with it. I don't have to clean it up. Somebody gets paid to do that for me. That's like one of the like few like joys we have left in life, I would say, is just that. Just
I don't think
knowing.
I've ever experienced that before.
Really? Have you ever stayed in a hotel?
Well, I have, but I'm a good person. So
okay.
Kevin, we once went to Memphis together.
I left that hotel in the same shape I found it, which was bad.
Well,
but I found it in poor shape to begin with.
Right. Again, I'm not advocating for like causing damage or like being a rock star and destroying your hotel room. All I'm saying is that like you just don't have to clean up after yourself, and it's okay. And if any of you guys or anybody listening to this podcast is holding on to guilt for not keeping a clean hotel room, just let it go. It's okay. Just liberate yourself. That was like the one highlight in a 2-day car trip. And I'm dead tired. I hate driving. but I did it and I'm back, and it's lovely to be back in Austin, Texas. That's what I'm big on. Anyways, enough of me. What do you say we look at the box office numbers for this week?
Ooh.
For a play-by-play of those
Yeah.
things on
There's
Spotify,
some
Kenny just took a
mid-drift.
magnificent gulp of, I'm presuming, some sparkling water and his crop top, which we forgot he was maybe wearing, and now we were gently reminded.
Yep.
And it was beautiful.
I'll send you some reminders here and there. Okay, so coming in at number 3 this week, making $2.3 million was Chaos Walking. Pretty sure it's the same top 3 as last week. I do want to point out again, The Croods it did not make it back into the top 3. However, I think it is worth noting it's still in the top 5 as far as total weekend for this past weekend. Also,
yeah.
It's top 4 for today so far. So of all the movies in theaters today, it's made the most money, or the 4th most money.
That makes sense. It's a big daytime movie.
And so it's not going away. Like, it's still around, which is good for us because we care so much about it. Coming in at number 2 with $4.1 million was Tom and Jerry. You could watch it on HBO. You don't need to go to a theater. And then
Suggest it, though.
I wouldn't. I haven't seen it. I've not heard anything good. I have not heard a single good thing about that movie. So, yeah, there's that. And then coming in at number 1 this week was Raya and the Last Dragon with $5.5 million. So
They've got to be
number.
counting that the access
to
from
be.
Disney Plus.
The Disney Plus. Yeah.
surely, yeah. There's no way people are second week in a row. People are going to the theater to see that.
Is this the new Croods?
It could
I'll
be
ask
New
it.
Cruise. Can there be such a thing as the new Croods?
No,
Well, Croods 3.
Croods 3, the new Croods.
right. But no.
Crudier.
Crude,
Crude harder.
Crude with a vengeance.
Good day to crude hard.
So yeah, that's our box office for this past weekend. The box office, still not very exciting stuff, but what can you do?
We'll get there.
The good news is that there's a vaccine and theaters are coming back. So that's good. That's good stuff. Well, yeah, guys, let's get into, really just actually, you know what? Let's talk about one thing, this little news headline. As you can tell, I'm very prepared today. This news headline that came out today that Avatar has now surpassed Avengers Endgame as the highest grossing film of all time. So essentially, Avatar was re-released in international markets solely for the purpose of reclaiming the throne of highest grossing film of all time. I would say that I'm mad at James Cameron. I would say that I'm mad at 20th Century Fox, who is now owned by Disney. So I guess they're just looking to milk the teat. Just get richer and richer because now they have the 2 highest grossing films of all time. I would say I'm mad at them, but you know who I'm really mad at?
The people who went to go see it.
Yeah. Who are these people that are like, Avatar's back in theaters, we gotta go?
I
No.
believe they live in China.
Well,
Wasn't it really released in China?
was
Isn't
it
that
just China? I thought
I
it was
think-
just like international.
I thought
I
it was
think
just Asia.
What I read, it was just
China.
China.
Just
That's what I
China.
thought.
Okay.
So we're mad at China.
Okay, so then did they
It's
not
a-
have it the first time? Did they not
Let's
get it?
Let's
No,
get
they
a quick
did.
fact check. That seems like an important fact check.
Yeah. Because
Before
I
we get
don't
mad at a country.
Because that was part of the
right,
article.
let's
Was
not
that
let's not
Avatar retakes box office crown from Avengers Endgame after China release.
Yep. China. You're on our shit list.
So are we mad at China?
Yeah, I am.
Have we
Yeah.
already come out as a anti-China?
Well, I think we got into a dicey situation with China in the past where we're not
did with
anti-China.
I think it was
We're
when Mulan
in-
came out,
we're-
maybe.
anti-Chinese government?
Yes, not anti-Chinese people.
Yes,
course.
that's our stance.
Pro-Chinese
also-
people.
And I'm also anti the people that went to go see Avatar in China.
Yes. Yeah, I think that's fair.
Very specific.
And
people.
here when it was first released, which I will
Which
throw
is
myself
me.
into that.
I
I saw
didn't
it.
See
Wait,
it.
but
It's
yeah,
a bad movie.
but
Let's just
okay.
admit it.
No, I agree. It's not great. Does it warrant sequels? No, it does not. It is not a good movie. Okay. Actually, let me take that. Let me step back a minute. I'll say this. I don't think it's a bad movie, but
Not
it is not worthy of being the number one grossing movie of all time. Because essentially what that means is that it is so good that many people saw it multiple times. That is a one and done film at its best. And I guarantee you can't name any characters in that movie. Like now. Unless you just watched it last night or you're in China and you just went and saw it in the theater.
Zoe Saldana.
Yeah.
No. I'm saying characters.
The characters.
I know.
You could
That's
name
the
the
closest I
actors.
can get. That's
The
the closest
tree.
the
I
other
don't
tree.
know, and I don't care.
Right.
Like the more I'm thinking about it, the angrier I'm becoming because it's a bad movie.
Well, all it was a Disney PR play because you had Marvel Avengers tweeting out congratulating. You had the Russo brothers posting on Instagram congratulating. My guess is in another year or two, they'll re-release Avengers Endgame
I hope they do.
in some other market so that they can reclaim it just to keep creating buzz that Disney has the top two. I bet this goes back and forth for a couple of years.
Okay. I see that. I can see that. There's
Wasn't Sigourney Weaver in Avatar?
She was.
Yes,
That's
but that's not a
person I
character.
can remember.
And
I
I
don't
just feel like
know.
it's
Let's look up some
cheating.
names.
I just feel like it's cheating to re-release a 10-year-old movie and then like count it as like, oh, now it's the highest grossing movie again. Like, it's like it already had its shot.
Endgame did do that. It did re-release after its initial release.
It was within like
right.
a month.
The time frame.
It wasn't
12
12 years later.
You
Right.
couldn't have bought the Blu-ray when Blu-ray was a new thing.
It almost seems like though for Endgame, it wasn't out of theaters long enough though to really forget that it was out of theaters.
It was probably still in theaters
I don't
in
know.
some cities, if we're being
Right.
totally honest.
Yeah. You could probably go see it in theater now.
Let's
I
do
bet
it.
money I bet it's at least one theater right now.
Ooh, is that my dog? I hope she shuts up.
But yeah, so that was like the big news thing, that really the past 2 days of just being in a car and not really being able to see what's going on with the world. But that did cross my path and had to look at it. So, would we say that we are anti-Avatar podcast?
Yes.
Heavily.
Because the only thing that Avatar ever had going for it was its fancy 3D technology, which just is such a gimmick.
Yeah.
It's just like if you need that to make your movie great, it's a bad movie.
I would
will
rather sit down and watch Birdman than Avatar.
Well, yeah, because Birdman's a great movie.
No.
It's a fantastic movie. That's why.
No.
I'll say this: I did see Endgame IMAX 3D. It was like watching a movie in freaking VR, man. It was awesome.
But Endgame didn't need that though to be good.
Agreed.
And I'm saying I haven't even seen the Endgame and Infinity Wars yet, but I can already tell you that they are
What?
better movies.
Hold on.
Wait, what?
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 I just
I
didn't
feel
get
like you've
around
been
to it.
hiding this from us.
No, I told you guys this.
No.
Think I would remember.
There's-
Well, I don't know. Maybe you just don't listen to me.
The collective reaction proves
I-
elsewise.
I
You
just
went through
don't-
a whole Avenger. You went through a Marvel draft, and you hadn't seen the two top
Yeah.
grossing movies. Oh
And
my!
I
goodness.
told you guys that at that time.
I must have just buried
I
that
have
in
a
my
memory
mind.
of telling you. I haven't seen all of them yet, including
I just assumed you'd seen them maybe since then.
nah.
You know what?
We're in
I
a-
bet if you went and saw them in theaters, Avatar wouldn't be the highest grossing film of all time right now.
Yeah,
It's
it
like
sounds
when
it
Jerry
sounds
forgot
so-
to vote in Parks and Rec.
So it sounds like
Oh, Jerry, I
It's
hope
not
you didn't lose
China's
by one
fault.
vote.
Yeah. Wow,
Wow.
I'm blown away.
shocked. What a revelation.
Oh, and you haven't had it spoiled for you.
Um,
You've watched WandaVision.
I've gathered enough to like know like okay something big has happened that I kind of know what has happened. A
Something
lot of people have
big.
been killed by Thanos. Blips.
Oh man.
I'm speechless.
Well,
I can't tell if you guys are upset with me.
we're
or
not
for
upset
me.
with
No,
you.
I'm just
no.
actually
Upset is not the
shocked.
right word. It's just shocked.
I cannot believe it.
I just don't get around to movies very quickly.
Oh, we
You
know.
guys know this.
Yeah.
But man, we've been going nowhere for a year now.
Wow. Well, Tom, I would.
You got something to
Here's
look
what
at.
I'll say.
But they also feel like such a commitment that when I have kind of thought about it, it's just like it's like 10 p.m.
Well,
I'm not gonna.
You'll be into it.
I'll just make a recommendation. I would stop watching WandaVision.
Yeah, have you started?
And go back and watch those movies first, because I feel like you're missing out on a lot of stuff. That's just a recommendation.
Yeah, I would
You
agree
you.
with Kenny's
Do whatever you want.
diagnosis. I concur. But also don't do whatever you want. Stop now.
The real point of this is that Avatar sucks and Endgame is awesome. That's all this really is. So yeah.
One is a gimmick, one isn't.
Right.
Tom's just happened to see the gimmick.
Oh
Did you see
man.
Avatar in theaters, Tom?
Yeah, it came out on my birthday.
December 18th.
Yeah,
Nice.
Yeah, well, let's be honest. Like, I was super excited about Avatar
I was
to
too.
go see it. Like, I was super excited, but I went and saw it with my dad, and he stood up when the screen went black for 1 second, and then the movie went on, and he just went, sat back in his chair.
Gotta finish this piece of shit.
Yeah, that's probably what was going through his mind. If I were not there, if he were not taking his son to see it, he would have left. And my dad doesn't we never left anything early.
My dad was a big time movie napper. He took us to a movie. It was lights out.
I haven't fallen. I have fallen asleep in the theater once, but it's not a habit. But like the movie at home, falling asleep is becoming more and more of a habit. So getting old. Well, yeah. So there's that news, and then we got to talk about Hank's fight. Hank's fight has just freaking gotten a life of its own, more than we could have ever dreamed or imagined.
I knew as soon as he uttered the name David S. Pumpkins, things were going to get out of hand.
Yeah. Well,
how could it not?
A couple things. So, first of all, thanks to everyone who voted on Twitter and Instagram. Tons of votes. I mean, for us. We'll just say that number's high, and then we won't give you a number, and then you make fun of us. But like for us, like we got a ton of votes on this, and it was really fun to watch. A lot of heated arguments. Well, not really, but like between us, but a lot of passion, some campaigning went along with it as well. So here's kind of the breakdown of what happened. So essentially, we did it in 3 rounds. Where we did round 1 was the 8 that we selected from our draft last weekend. Then round 2 was the final 4. And then on Friday, we started the championship round voting. So as of today, we thought we would have a winner to announce on the podcast. We actually do not, which is exciting because this means we get to drag it out a little bit longer. But here's essentially what happened. We could get down to like the nuts and bolts of it and be like, oh, yes, one technically did get more votes than the other, because I think that probably did happen. But I'm going to treat this like a political, like actual like recount, because, if the vote is within like 10,000 votes, like they do a recount or something like that in certain states.
Isn't it percentage points?
Something like that, but essentially, 10,000 is still a lot of votes. Like, I feel like that's it's a clear winner. But anyways, that being said, so here's the situation. So we did polls, we did a Twitter poll, and we did an Instagram poll. So for each of the rounds leading up to the championship round, the Twitter vote and the Instagram vote were pretty much identical. On each one. So there was no confusion. Everyone seemed to be on the same page. So when I checked to see who was the winner in the championship round between Forrest Gump and David S. Pumpkins, Um, here's what we got. So essentially,
Can I guess which was bigger on which platform?
I think that would be wise. Go
I
ahead.
feel like Instagram would be more of a David S. Pumpkins place.
Yes.
Because it's a big picture of him. And
Yes.
it's like, how can you not vote for that guy?
So that's
what it was.
That's exactly what happened. So on Twitter, Forrest Gump had 71% of the vote, and David S. Pumpkins had 29% of the vote. So it was pretty strong Forrest Gump on Twitter. On Instagram, it was like literally almost the same. So I think it was but switched. So it was like 67% David S. Pumpkins, and 33% Forrest Gump. So with that, I could go in and it doesn't tell me like who voted for who. It just shows me how many votes. So I don't know like what the actual vote count was and how many votes were total between the two platforms. So I think we have to have like a recount.
Wait, so Instagram tells you how many votes there were?
No, it doesn't. So it just tells you a percentage, but Twitter tells you how many votes there were. So I don't know like how many total votes there were, and I don't know like which vote is which. So essentially we're kind of like in this yeah. What do we do?
Could we settle it right here on the show? We all cast a vote?
Well, it'd be you two casting a vote.
Yeah, because really it's between me and Mob
yeah.
because it's our two characters.
Well, if Tom and I are on the same page, then maybe we have a winner.
What do you think, Mob?
I know what my answer is.
I know it. Yeah. It's not going to be Forrest Gump.
I feel like we might be a hung jury. Tom, what would you vote?
Should I go ahead and say now?
Yeah, say it.
All right. I would vote David S. Pumpkins.
So would I. Did we declare a winner? Who knows?
I'm fine with going back to the people as well.
That's what I want to do.
Before you came
want.
in here and said we need to do a recount, I was gonna go crazy on you because you used the CineBoiz Instagram account, which only you have the password to. I created the Twitter and the email, and I shared the password with everyone, but you created the Instagram. You're the only one with the password. You apparently don't remember it, and then you used the CineBoiz account to campaign for you.
Hold on. I have access
that's not true. That's not what happened.
I have access to the Instagram account.
Oh, Kevin has access to the Instagram
I don't know how.
account.
I just do. I could set out a nice pick right now if I needed to. Maybe I should.
Well, here's the thing. So I would, in my defense, I would say that I did not use it to go for Forrest Gump. All I said, I used a quote from me, assuming that like our Instagram, the guy who runs our Instagram is a third party, and it's just a quote from Kenny. What is it? I don't even remember.
It doesn't matter. How come there wasn't a quote from Mob then?
You did that on your own Instagram. I barely use. That's not true. That's a lie.
Yeah, it's not fair. All I know is Cork Bats, the actual website, the actual Instagram account, the actual Twitter account, Team Pumpkins. That's all I need.
That seems shady too.
I have a tweet that I retweeted.
Okay, well. So I think we should put it back to the community because they literally were just like, it blew up. It was awesome. Like all of our posts on it were like really, for us, there were a lot of likes, a lot of engagement. So I feel like to just decide among us is.
I've got an alternative question or alternative way to decide.
Yeah.
And maybe this would work, maybe it wouldn't. We could call my dad right now and ask him, and whatever he says is the final vote.
I like it. Get him on the phone.
Well, let's see if he answers. Strong chance he won't answer. He's not a big weekend phone guy, but I'm gonna put him on speaker.
You can't read that, Mob. Nobody can read that. It's too blurry.
Did you see the KB?
I see the KB.
Nothing.
Everything's blurry.
This would be amazing.
It happened.
I'm afraid he's not gonna.
If he doesn't answer for you, I'll call him.
Yes. I don't think he's going to answer. He's probably painting in the garage.
That would change.
Okay. So that's out. That's out. We're not doing
Let
that.
Mob call him.
Well, we can figure out how we're going to do this.
Should have had you call him in the first place.
Twitter to see, or not Twitter, how we go back to the people, because I don't feel like we can go back to Instagram because they don't give you the amount of votes. We can't go back to Twitter because that skews way too far to Kenny. So what do we do? We need a neutral site.
To be fair, Forrest Gump won the Twitter poll.
Right.
What are we saying? Twitter was
so
Forrest,
we can't use
heavy
Instagram
Forrest.
because they don't
use
give you
one
the
or the
amount
other.
of votes. We
Oh,
can't
I
use
see what you're
Twitter
saying. I see what
because
you're
that's
saying.
already skewed to Forrest Gump.
I guess that
We
just
need a
shows that our
neutral site.
Instagram users and our Twitter user followers are not the same people.
Right.
Which I don't get.
Yeah, well, we have more Instagram followers than we do Twitter followers. Which maybe we should figure out a way to fix that through this. Like if you follow us on Twitter and you vote,
Enter to win a gift card.
How about a gift card? What do you guys think?
Amazon. I like it.
We
gift
keep
card
the-
right here. Probably won't use it. You can have it. $25.
What is it for?
Only for Kindle. So
And
if
there's
you have a
$7
Kindle, you're
left on it.
set.
It's a Kindle $25 gift card.
Yep.
With $7 left on it.
I got 25. I don't really buy books.
Um.
Is that what you would call a reader?
Well, Mom doesn't want to do Twitter because that skews to me.
Yeah.
Correct. And you don't want to do Instagram because it skews to him.
Gosh.
And we can't count the votes.
I still think if we can get a hold of my dad, he's the I don't know. I wish he would have picked up. That would have been electric on air.
Do we just call it a draw?
No way.
That this kind of build up.
There's no way that either one of those guys would fight to a draw.
That's accurate.
They
Yeah.
didn't get there by playing to tie.
Well, yeah, I think you're right. So I think really what it comes down to is a battle of good versus evil, because David S. Pumpkins is evil, and I don't say that disparagingly. He just seems evil.
I think he's chaotic neutral.
Chaotic neutral. Okay. Well,
And Forrest is just moral good.
Yeah, moral good, chaotic neutral.
No, what it comes down to is it's the guy who decided to use the group account to campaign for himself against the guy who could have gone onto Twitter and done that but didn't.
We're gonna go there.
Yeah,
Is that
yeah, that's
the
what
guy
happened.
uses the group account? The group account where you guys all post on that group account?
You won't give me the password. I asked for it once. She said I don't remember.
That was an emergency situation. Okay, I needed help.
I've never posted
I was in
once.
the middle of a weather crisis.
And I was willing to help. I'm always
You
willing
were.
to help.
I'll give you that. You were very willing to help, and then I couldn't remember. Yeah, no, I don't remember the password because it's automatically in there, and I didn't have it on me, and so
I fully believe you don't remember the password.
yeah, I don't remember most of my passwords. You know what my solution is when I forget my password?
You change it.
Change
Yeah,
my
you change
password. Exactly.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yep,
saying that
that's
you
what I
don't
do.
remember the password. I fully believe you don't
Yeah.
remember the
Crazy way to
password.
live. Just never knowing how to log into anything.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we just I got a little heated. Let's
We haven't
regroup.
come to a solution.
We haven't come to. I think we should.
Drag it out.
Wait, I got it. Here's what we do. We
Drag
put
it
it
out.
to the people. We say, how should we solve this?
Yes.
It'll be. Should we do another Twitter poll? Another Instagram poll? Should we do mail-in ballots?
I'd get
Everyone buy
$4
stamps.
Everyone buy stamps.
With your stimulus checks, just buy stamps.
Yeah.
Give it back to the government.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh, we'll figure it out. We'll post it. We're gonna post it again. Not the vote. We're gonna post like, do you want to vote again?
By the time you're done listening to this, you can go on Twitter or Instagram and find out how we're doing this potentially.
Essentially, there will at least be another revote. Can we agree on that?
Yeah, absolutely.
So
Yes.
it's not over. We can all agree it's not over. We can all agree that there will be a solution to the issue. And stay tuned and follow us on Twitter and Instagram at the CineBoiz.
Let's just write Tom Hanks a letter and see who he thinks would win.
It's bound
Honestly-
to be. It's bound to be the Rocky 2
Do you think?
social media polls. Not
Mhm.
as good,
He would not
What
respond,
was exciting?
but I like that we can at least
What?
try.
Hold on. I think there's an idea here.
I heard it too, and I'm with you.
We start a campaign to get Tom Hanks to pick.
I don't think this is as crazy as it seems.
Tom's not super online.
Yeah, but he's on Twitter.
That's true.
He's
And
on
Instagram.
Twitter.
I think with us plus Cork Bats, we can make this happen. We'll talk about it after, but I think that's the route we're going to go. We're going to get Tom Hanks himself involved with this.
This sounds great.
All right.
When we have the momentum, we can do it.
I'm a genius. I
So
accept.
everybody stay tuned. We're going to meet Tom Hanks. Okay. That being said, that's the benefit of not being prepared, man. We go wherever the hell we want, dude. This is fun. Oh,
I like this idea.
makes for a great episode.
At the least, we could get Colin Hanks to respond.
That
Kenny
might actually
Hanks.
be better because he's unbiased. He was neither Forrest Gump or
He
David.
was neither, and he's more likely to respond probably because he actually probably looks at the internet sometimes.
Which
This is
version
true.
of your dad do you think would win in a fight?
Yes.
I think
like
that's
it.
the way to
With
go.
himself.
Colin Hanks is the deciding vote. That is what we're going to get going this week on
Colin, this
Twitter
is
and
you.
Instagram. So, Colin Hanks, we call upon you, good sir, to help us solve this important question. Who would win in a fight, Forrest Gump or David S. Pumpkins?
Which one of your dads?
Which one of your dads would win?
There can only be one.
Okay, that being said, Tom, I know we don't got the trivia this week, man, but that's all right. We probably
did not-
wasted way too much time on this dilemma.
I did not try very hard this week.
But you
But I
got some
have-
movie anniversaries.
I have anniversaries for us.
Let's do it, man.
Happy 5-year anniversary to Midnight Special.
Hey,
The great
Good movie.
movie.
A pretty
Great
great movie.
Fantastic movie.
I would highly
Just
recommend it.
rewatched it.
Love Adam Driver.
Love
That's
Adam
very good.
Driver. Love Michael
And
Shannon.
Michael Shannon.
Michael Shannon.
Oh, gosh. Don't even get me started on Michael
It was
Shannon.
okay.
Kids in it.
It was okay.
Uh,
Yeah,
Yeah,
who was
that's
the
true.
kid?
The kid from It. Like the main kid from
Yeah.
It.
Was it me?
Mhm. When he
Oh,
was a
yeah,
little
okay.
younger, yeah.
I wouldn't know. I didn't see it.
I
and
forgot.
never will.
Great
I'm
movie.
too scared.
Happy 10-year anniversary to The Lincoln Lawyer.
Another good movie.
I watched this one with Mob.
Yeah,
That's
we did
great.
like kind of like a Netflix roulette,
Mm-hmm.
and we got Lincoln
It
Lawyer.
was a
It's a
great choice.
Good one, dude.
That's
it is,
a good movie to
it's
come
a
up on roulette.
sleeper, man. Like, it's not one that like got a lot of attention, but it's a great one if you're just like, I just need a random thing to watch. You put it on, and it's like, oh, this is better than I expected.
Mhm.
That was one of
Absolutely.
his first non-romantic comedy roles that kind of
Yeah,
drove him into real acting.
Yeah.
yeah. It
Kind of like
was-
as he started turning into a more serious actor.
Right, and now he's transitioning from serious actor to
Politician?
future governor of Texas. Governor of
I'm
Texas.
for it.
It'd be great.
Nice.
Happy 25-year anniversary to Executive Decision.
Ah,
Be surprised if any of you guys know this one. Maybe
Yeah,
you can.
it's got Kurt Russell and Halle
Yeah.
Berry in it
dynamic duo.
on a
I saw it.
plane.
It was entertaining.
Yeah,
What's it called? Executive order?
executive
Decision.
decision.
Decision. Those
Okay, if
sound
you're
Not
such
as
a-
good as
the
the
same
first
thing.
two we talked about, but
Yeah, Kev, you're such a politics guy. Executive
am.
order.
I do love politics.
Cool. Well, guys, I think that's pretty much it for this week. So, everyone, thanks again for listening. If you're listening on Spot, I'm so tired. If you're listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, thank you so much. Did you guys hear something? I think my dog was having a dream.
Mm.
Be sure to like, subscribe, all the podcast stuff. Like, subscribe, rate, review, all that fun stuff goes a long way. It means a lot to us. If you want to follow us on social media, which I now highly recommend you doing because we're about to get Colin Hanks on.
Mhm.
Mhm.
That's a guarantee. Colin Hanks is going to be not on the podcast, but he's gonna decide between who's the better fighter, Hanks versus Pumpkins. So follow us on Twitter and Instagram at the CineBoiz. In Corkbats as well. Follow the Corkbats YouTube page. That's where you can see our videos, all of Corkbats videos, and then you can follow Corkbats at Corkbats on Twitter and Instagram, and go to corkbats.com. They have a website. They put all their stuff on the website, so you don't have to go to all the separate places. You get it all right there. Although I do recommend following them on Twitter and Instagram. It's a lot of fun. Guys, you got anything else you want to say? Anything you want to add?
Nope.
No? Well, cool. Well, I'll say this. It's good to be back in Texas. Hook 'em.
Orange down.
Where's that, baby? All right.
Bye.
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 Bye, boys.